In 1890, it was settlers and seafarers, adventurers and misfits plied Biscayne Bay in wooden ships, cleared the land and started families, the Monroes and the Peacocks, the Pence and the Frows. They traded with the Indians, survived killer hurricanes, and built a schoolhouse. They called their steamy tropical settlement Coconut Grove. Through most of the first half of the century, the Grove slept, a quiet, tree-filled village on the outskirts of the boom town on the Miami River. The artist founded in the 50s, the hippies in the 60s. It was small, personal, decidedly quaint, and a little shabby. Shabby has turned to chic. Charles Jourdain's sandals and Cuisinarts are signs of the times. The flower children have all but vanished. The local artists are in hiding. The nouveau riche are the wave of the future in the village on the bay.
Times are changing. The area is changing. Many newcomers have come into the area, and with expensive condominiums going up, with expensive townhouses going up, only the quality type of person is coming into the area.
Quality people are people with big bucks in today's Grove, and the cosmetic changes reflect the village for the privileged concept. Joe Garfield and his partner Ken Treaster created Mayfair in the Grove, a collection of elegant and expensive shops and trendy eateries, housed in architecture that is art. The charm of the Grove repackaged for those who are bored with the merely charming. And the facelift of the downtown business district has forced many homegrown shops to seek cheaper rent areas. Street lanterns, trees, and paved brick sidewalks cost over $1 million. They haven't yet solved the problem of where to park, but once free of your car, the Grove is a pedestrian paradise. On purpose. Stores front the sidewalks directly with lots of attractive display windows, and sidewalk cafes are encouraged, an exception to the usual Miami zoning. You can look, but it's hard to touch the real estate prices.
Well, the values, of course, are rather high at the moment and going higher. Probably the highest in the county.
Tomorrow we'll look at what's happening in the Grove and why you probably can't afford to live there. Beverly McFarland, Channel 4 News, Coconut Grove. This is an endangered species, the little frame house in a patch of Coconut Grove greenery. And this is an endangered species. And this, and this. Middle-class folk, old people on fixed incomes, renters. Day by day, there's less room for them in Coconut Grove.
The Grove is very much in demand. Everybody wants to live in the Grove, whether they can afford it or not.
And it's getting harder and harder to afford the Grove. In the past 2 years, the price of living space has doubled, sometimes tripled. $100,000 for a small two-bedroom condominium is the going rate. Luxury townhouses on bayfront property can cost up to $400,000. So who's buying these mini mansions?
We have a lot of very wealthy young people in Miami. Young attorneys, young doctors, young airline pilots. And these people are buying townhouses and apartments and whatnot.
In the early days, when we started our selling campaign, we sold, I would say, 80% to local people, Coconut Grove people, and the other 20% to outside nationals. Today, I would say that the mix is probably 60% local and 40% outside nationals.
Outside nationals are oil-rich Venezuelans and Saudis, coffee-rich Colombians and Nicaraguans, investment groups from Germany and Canada, and the latest in foreign purchasers, companies registered in the Netherlands Antilles. Most often these are groups of American lawyers interested in tax shelters. This 6.5-acre lot stretching from Main Highway to Biscayne Bay sold to one such group recently for $2.2 million.
If you owned a single-family residence on Bayshore Drive, and you're on a half-acre, let's say, and just the land was assessed at $250,000, it sort of blows your mind. You feel like you better sell it to a developer and run.
The developers are also off and running, squeezing angular townhouses in between trees, looking for that next piece of land to build on. What started this billion-dollar frenzy? An office building, a high-rise, and a posh shopping center. Concrete recognition of the money people are willing to pay for this. Some sailboats on a bay in the front yard. And this, a buffer of trees between home and the next-door neighbor, downtown Miami. There used to be a village with cracked sidewalks and hand-built houses. Today that village comes gift-wrapped, and whoever pays, stays. Beverly McFarland, Channel 4 News, Coconut Grove.